Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. On this channel we post writing tips, unboxings, book hauls, book reviews and the occasional vlog, and today we have a writing tips video for you and we are discussing how to write the anti-villain. If you saw my video last month, the link is above me now. If you haven't, we discussed how to write the anti-hero. This is a hero who does good but for questionable reasons. So of course today we are discussing the opposite end of that spectrum, which is a villain who does evil, but again, questionable. How evil are they? Like anti-heroes, anti-villains are very popular at the moment. So you'll see them in a lot of modern day writing. And like our anti-heroes, there are three main concepts that make your villain an anti-villain. 1. A villain who does bad but for good reasons. 2. Villains who do bad but in a humane-ish way. And 3. Villains who do evil but they have an internal struggle trying to tell them to do good. So these are your three reasons that your villain could be an anti-villain. There are 4 main types of anti-villain. Before we get into those, don't forget, if you like what you see, to subscribe to this channel. If you'd like to see this upload, click that little bell down below. Your continued support means a lot, so thank you guys so much. Let's get into the 4 types of anti-villain. Number 1, a well-intentioned extremist. To reach the greater good in their opinion, these anti-villains are very willing to have very questionable methods. An example of this would be Thanos, who wants to help the planet from its problem of overpopulation. However, his way of dealing with this was to humanely cut out half the population, 50% gone, no reason why, no choosing who stays and who goes, no pain, just disappear. And because of that, he is the villain. But he is technically an anti-villain because he's doing it because he believes it is better for the greater good, and he's doing it in his opinion the most humane way possible. This creates a really interesting concept for the reader or the watcher, because is he wrong? Is he right? It makes you understand the villain. It makes them more human and interesting, and you sort of understand why they're doing what they're doing. Doesn't mean you agree with them, but you understand why. Number 2. The noble villain. They have a code they won't break. For example, in Bruge, you have an assassin company. Now, one of the gentlemen accidentally kills a child. That is a rule. You never ever kill a child. So he's taken to Bruges, and the assassin who goes with him believes they're going to help him get over this, to come to terms with what he's done. What the actual owner of this company is doing, and the villain of the story, is sending the other assassin there to kill this assassin, give him a nice time before he kills him, because he knows it was an accident. However, rules are rules. You kill a child, you're out. And this makes him an anti-villain, because although he is trying to murder someone, he's trying to murder someone because of their code. Number 3, villain in name only. They're not evil, but they are an opposition of the hero. For example, Banjo in the Hogfather. Banjo is the stereotypical strong character who's very, very physically strong, but not very mentally strong. He follows his brother, who is a hired arm, basically. So he is hired by the assassin Teotami to kill the Tooth Fairy and to gain all the teeth in order to stop the world believing in the Hogfather, which will kill the Hogfather. Banjo is dragged along in this, so although he is technically a villain, he is on the villain's side, he's following orders. He doesn't understand what he's doing, and he doesn't want to in the end. He changes to be on the good side. So although he's a villain, he's an anti-villain because he's not doing it on purpose. He's actually good, and all he wants to do is please his brother. And number 4, the maid villain. This is someone who used to be a hero, but for whatever reason, whatever trauma has happened to them, they have been pushed and pushed to become the villain. This is normally through abuse, through threats, through torture, and through being repeatedly hurt. So now we know the 3 main reasons of what makes your anti-villain and the 4 various types of anti-villain. Like with the anti-hero, it's all on a gradient and they just get more and more evil or more and more good as you go. Anti-villains often align really well if you have morally ambiguous characters. For example, in Arcane, you have Jinx. Jinx is technically a morally ambiguous character and is a villain. She is on the villain's side. The villain actually killed her adopted dad. But what you find out is that the main villain was actually friends with her adopted dad, and that adopted dad actually betrayed him first. And what that villain actually wants is to free the underworld from the top world. But he has exceptionally questionable methods in doing so. And this is what Jinx is then swept up in, because she just wants to be loved and cared for and appreciated. But because she herself is so morally ambiguous, this villain is the only one who seems to be able to understand her and to love her ultimately for who and what she is. But he uses this to push her towards doing bad things. A lot of anti-villains generally have very complex and hurtful backstories, and that is what has made them what they are today. So make sure you bear in mind when making your anti-villain what caused them to be the anti-villain. If they are a villain, they can just be a bad person. If they are anti-villain, at some point they either were good or they could turn good in the end. And you need to know what that reason is. Doesn't mean your reader has to ultimately know it, but you need to know in order to keep that character consistent. And that's it for writing anti-villains. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. If you'd like to see as soon as I upload, click that little bell down below. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram or Tumblr. I post bookish pictures as well as my writing tips and unboxings on there. And thanks for watching guys. Bye!